Howdy, hombres! My name's L.A.zy, and welcome back to The Letter. In the last episode, we have, well, as you can see, Isabella's visiting dear Zachary here, because Isabella, when she came by to us last night, she was out of it. I mean, it's no surprise why she was out of it. She was visited by the ghost, and now she has escaped, as you can see by her being alive over here. Wow, the relationship gauge is pretty high right now with Isabella. I kinda stopped like mid-conversation last episode, but wait, sorry, just my head kinda went backwards. So, let's get started already, shall we? Alright, let's see what we got in the journal. Isabella saw Zachary taking an unknown medicine. Concerned, asked what it is for. He admitted he's suffering from trauma ever since his parents were killed in a hate crime. Isabella could only offer him a comforting hug. To lighten the mood, the two decided to cook breakfast afterwards. Okay. Get my reading cords up and running. Despite the massive effort to keep the mood light with small chatter, cooking ends up being a mostly quiet affair. Between us, the consistent clapping of the knife against the board and the muffled noise television I left running, words have become surprisingly difficult to string together. Not entirely unusual, we've had moments like this before, but definitely unnerving with how things are now. I really wish someone else would come knocking at the door. As pleasant as this is, breaking the ice or keeping a conversation going has never been my forte. It's always been Isabella's or Rebecca's department. Sometimes Ash's, although most coming from him, boring, awkward, or embarrassing. Speaking of the guy, he never did call back, and I'm willing to bet my entire yearly salary and he fell right back to sleep after the call.
Sorry, Bella, could you...
Yep,
Let
I
me
got
guess,
it.
it is Ash.
The potatoes are almost ready, by the way. I turned down the heat just in case. You might want to check on them, though. Hold on, I'll be right there. Sheesh, wait up. If you keep rapping at the door like that, you'll break it down, Ash.
Oh, good.
It
You're
is
awake.
Ash. Hey there. Ash and my boy. Ash has already welcomed himself in when I take my eyes away from the oven. He's never been really keen with the notion of courtesies after he's warmed up to you, this guy. All 13 of my locks he broke can attest to that. Really? He's a good fellow, though. Maybe a tad bit standoffish at first glance, but he's trustworthy.
Don't you have work today?
I could ask the same of you. Hey, Z-Man.
You're late. Something came up? You need to drop the Z-Man. It's getting old.
Sorry, I got caught up with something at the precinct on the way here. Had to attend to that first before things got out of hand. I'd tell you about it, but you know how it can be with those kinds of things. Later, maybe.
And you're here because...
What? I'm not allowed to say hello?
I doubt you're here because of that. And you're not answering my question.
My bad. Forgot to mention that. He called earlier looking for you. Rebecca's worried because you didn't come home last night.
You could have called my cell instead.
You weren't picking up. Anyway, I'd really hate to cut this little get-together short, but I need to be somewhere else. Come on, Isabella, let's get you home. I'll drop you off on the way.
Wait, we're going now?
He lightly claps a hand on her arm and begins ushering her out of the apartment, throwing a casual wave at me as they pass. Isabella, on the other hand, doesn't appear too fond of the idea, and sure enough, before they can even cross the threshold, she puts a firm foot down, the force alone enough to hold them both and catch the taller man off guard. It would have made for a funny picture. The way Ash almost crashes into her and Isabella giving him an indignant pout over his shoulder. Surprise and confusion are in his face all at once, two things that rarely ever grace if he can help it. Rare moment even for our small group. If only I have my camera with me. Tame.
What is it?
Zach cooked something.
If it's just food, I'll get you something on the way back.
But the food! It's Zach's cooking. Real delicious food that actually tastes like food. At least stay and have a bite. Please, Zach, help me here.
These two, whenever they are in the same room, sometimes it feels like hurting a group of unruly kids instead of talking to mature adults. One moment they're engaged in a pleasant chit-chat, and the next they're bickering over a minor issue. Frankly, if I didn't know any better and I have an overactive imagination, I'd say there's something going on. Never mind how early impossible that idea is. Or it might be just me reading too much into things like always. Can already hear Ash's laughter so much to suggest such. This, however.
I don't know about you two, but I think you guys should really stay. I've already made enough food for all of us, and it'd be a waste.
Oh, Isabella actually got pluses. That's cute.
Why, I cooked up that special honey glazed ham you two keep on yapping about. Got some scalloped potatoes with onions and cheddar to go with it,
Honey
too.
glazed ham, are you serious? That's such a gross combination, Zach. But I guess I can't judge your tastes. Then, the oven timer dings. Chicken tuned and apologetic look before sauntering over the kitchen, mince in hand. The sweet smell of the glaze and the salty tang of melted cheese wafts through the air as soon as I open the door and take out the two trays inside. The scent immediately fills up the entire room. Even with the door and windows open, the mouth-watering aroma lingers. Oh, she's hungry. It's feeling enough that when I put the dishes down on the counter, another starved stomach protests loudly, followed by a burst of laughter. My head snaps at the two of them, and I can't keep back the smile on the side they make. Isabella's clinging to the doorframe for support, doubled over with breathless laughter. Ash is more composed than the two, trying to look unconcerned. Her flesh has crept up his neck and cheeks. It's clear whose stomach that came from, and Isabella's not going to let him lift us down.
You're in no place to reject an offer of free food, Frey.
I wasn't rejecting anything. Damn it, I just missed a meal, that's all.
Aw, he's flustered.
Shut it! Those guys at the precinct said it was urgent. Somebody has to be responsible for it.
Well, aren't you precious?
Right. You know, if you keep laughing like that, you'll burst.
I'm sure it won't be as bad as your stomach suddenly rumbling like a starved.
Aye, kiddos, play nice. Food's gonna get cold if we keep this up. Ash, you gonna stay?
Might as well, since Scaredy Cat's so hell-bent on staying.
And another CGI. Oh, that looks adorable. Oh, look at Zach. Look at Zach. Such a happy little boy. We eventually settle down after the food has been served. Jibes replaced by another round of friendly chatter, mostly about what's on the news the night before. There is, however, a conscious effort to avoid mentioning what's currently on the headlines. It is never a good topic to talk over food in polite company. In this case in particular. The wounds are too fresh and soon. I'd likely avoid it as well if I were in her position. Someone I personally knew passed away in a gruesome manner like that. Or perhaps the closest we got to broaching the topic is when the infamous mansions brought up again. But even then we are careful, Ash and I. We'll keep the conversation light and avoid bringing up her late business partner. It's the least we can do.
The Wrights? Yeah, they're planning to move in soon. In fact, they already have a housewarming party planned.
Well, they already have the housewarming party done. Oh wait, I think this is before, isn't it?
It's why they wanted us to rush the papers. They wanted to send the invitations out as soon as
Oh,
possible.
the sweet fourth party.
Oh, now I get it.
Get what?
Remember what I told you last night about the new clients?
Vaguely? Sorry. I was a little out of it yesterday. Was it the photo shoot?
Yep, it's actually for the one you sold. Ermine, something.
Garden.
When you put it that way, I suppose it makes sense why my boss wants me to prioritize the couple. They can have those documents rushed at just a snap of their fingers. Then they're more influential than I initially thought. And I guess my boss is expecting a lot more from this project than I expected. Hope I can live up to it.
Your photographs are more than good enough, Zach. You'd probably win an international award if you let yourself. Ma'am Hana's easy to please, too. As long as you're good at following instructions.
Easier said than done. Different clients have different tastes after all.
Still, a week? I don't think that's possible.
Now that you mentioned it, yeah. They wanted everything finished at the earliest. To be honest, it's not unheard of, but...
But it's still weird. Still weird, yeah?
Slip of the tongue. Still very noticeable to someone who's already familiar with Ash's ways, and in this moment, it's impossible to miss. Shoot him a curious glance, but he ignores it. Rather poignantly.
I can't exactly say it's like that, where I'm just the middleman after all. As much as I want to comment on it, I only know what's on the surface, not the in and outs. It's just that BRC and my boss are more hands-on with the legal stuff this time, despite having a separate department dedicated to it.
Maybe Mr. Wright helped with it too. They have their own legal team for this, don't they?
Well, they should have one. Especially for a big property like this.
They have, but like I said, it's off our hands. Rose and I don't handle this stuff in the office. If anything, to me, this just means I'll be able to send the rest of the funds to Papa's treatment earlier.
I guess that makes a whole lot of sense. Officially off our instant noodle diet, aren't we?
Ash, has anyone ever told you that you have an uncanny way of ruining the mood?
What? I was just saying. A few more months of stuffing your face with those, and I'm sure you'll start to look like a noodle cup. That's a pretty picture.
At least I don't live off convenience store food. Or make poor, unassuming pressure cookers explode.
What? How did you... Oh, come on, Zach.
Sorry, it just came up while we were cooking earlier.
I'm impressed, Ashton Frey. You even made it to the news.
A one-time thing. And it wasn't as big as you seem to be imagining.
Oh, sure. Let's all pretend that one time you almost set my apartment on fire didn't happen too.
Oh my god, Ashton has some, hidden humiliations, huh?
Hey, that was an accident.
You were making a salad, Ash.
Really?
Can we please move on to a different topic?
It helps. The casual talk, the harmless teasing, the mundane stories interesting enough to let time pass unnoticed. By the time lunch ends, the shadows are no longer at forefront of my mind. If it's the same for Isabella, for whatever troubles her, I can never tell. These things, the anxiety, the fear, they ain't easily seen, ain't easily forgotten after all.
You go on ahead. I've got a few things I need to ask Zach. I'll be downstairs in a minute.
Confusion briefly flashes in her eyes as she catches the keys he tosses over, but he doesn't give her an answer and waits for her to go ahead.
How sure are you I won't be driving away with your Shirley?
You don't even have a license. Do you even know how to?
Papa taught me how. I'm probably a better driver than you. See you later, Zach. Thanks for the food.
Always has to have the last word, don't you?
You're welcome. I'll send you the recipe for the potatoes tonight.
A grin is back on her face when she leaves and closes the door behind her. For a little while after we're left alone, Ash goes wholly quiet, listening, waiting for the remaining footsteps in the hall to fade. The earlier amusement is gone from his face, replaced by what can only describe as trepidation. I know that look all too well. When he's like this, he's expecting shit about to go down at some point soon.
That wasn't very nice, Ash. What was that with Isabella earlier? You're usually subtler with your questions.
They hired you.
Hired me who? Don't change the subject yet. What's really going on here?
The Wrights. Luke and Hannah Wright. You said your next gig is with them.
Is that what this is all about?
Just be careful around them. You have no idea what you're dealing with when it comes to that couple. I'd rather you stay as far away from them as possible, but you're already here. Isabella's their real estate agent. Seriously, of all the people in Luxburn.
Okay. I guess I'll just have to take your word for it.
He nods, claps a comforting hand on my back, and turns to leave without another word. He's never been good with those. More often he fumbles with what he wants to say, but his actions alone are enough to tell me how grateful he is for the trust. He reaches for the knob as soon as he gets to the door, but doesn't turn it. Instead, he looks back and gestures with his head towards the table. I don't need to follow his line of sight to know what he's going to ask about. He's likely taking notice of it the moment he enters the room.
You back on those? I haven't seen you taking them in a year.
Yeah, I kinda had to. It got worse after the film fest. The dreams, that is.
Oh my god, I hope the ghost won't make it even worse for you.
I don't think I'll be doing that again anytime soon.
Heard about that. Don't drop it, though. You don't want Becca scolding you. She actually enjoyed the movie you made, and she's hard to please. Consider that a small victory.
You don't have to tell me. She already did. Rebecca and Bella both gave me an earful after I said the opposite. Promised them I wouldn't, but you can never tell. Hopefully, once I feel better, I'll be able to think about it properly. Speaking of Bella, she didn't open up to me, but maybe with you and Rebecca.
Yeah, I'll try. I can't promise anything, but I'll talk to her.
Thanks. That's all I'm asking.
This time when he reaches for the door, he lets it close fully behind him without glancing back. Okay, what do we got for the journal? Ashton arrived to fetch Isabel hours later, but she didn't want to leave after all the food they prepared. And he and Ashton acquiesced and stayed. The Wrights and Zach's upcoming gig with a few topics touched during the talk over breakfast. Okay. A mild draft sweeps into the room as I close the door behind him, slightly disturbing the papers on the little fridge. A low note flutters by my feet, and the letters on the surface glaring at me with new intensity. Armangardi Mansion. Hannah Wright, 11 a.m. for luxury living. After Ashton's warnings, they all hold a different meaning now. October 27th, Thursday. Oh my god, nighttime. The next 2 days rush by in a blur, although leaving a collective mess of work suddenly piling up and unexpected coincidences from friends. Depends on how you look at it. You Either way, I'm stuck developing these photos at 3 in the morning to reach a deadline set by an overeager art director. Don't get me wrong, Julius is good, has a vision, and knows what he wants. But damn, he can be too enthusiastic sometimes.
Doesn't matter when you couldn't sleep anyway.
There's nothing new in it, of course. After years of working as a freelance photographer, it's something I've grown used to get to know people, build a client base, do good work and cash in some late hours if need be. Rinse and repeat. It certainly takes a while to get some footing on the field, but it's the kind of thing that pays off in the long run as long as you keep at it. Given enough time, you might end up with big names on your client list. Names like the Wrights in particular. Never did pay much attention to them, but it's virtually impossible not to hear about them when a local news channel or paper has something to say on the name. Party here and composition there. Sometimes it's a new business venture, other times it's everyday gossip that typically follows popular people like them. Not in a million years did I ever imagine I would end up working with such a high-profile couple. And between that and the fuss that comes with, it leaves me no time to ponder over whatever happened to Isabella or why Ash is so adamant we keep away from the pair.
They do seem like the good folk, though, despite the whole fame thing.
Well, Hannah, yes, but I'm not sure about Luke. Sure, there was a rumor running around years ago about him being involved in some business scandal. It's just like every gossip blown out of proportion by the media, nothing came of it. Eventually it simply died down. Much is definitely left to be said for the husband. I doubt a woman like Miss Wright will pick him if he doesn't have any good points at all. Miss Wright, Hannah herself, though. Ooh, she does look rather nice. She ain't particularly bad the way the press makes her out to be. Tabloids had it all wrong, that's for sure. So, branching tree, what do we got for you, Zach boy? We're still at 3%. Whoa, we got a long way to go with you, my friend. Okay, so story update, butterfly effect. Oof. Okay then. For someone born with a silver spoon in her mouth, well, she ain't exactly what I was expecting. Among other things, newfound friendship is what I least expected from her, but here we are. But with life as public as the Wrights, no wonder it's the woman who often gets the crappy end of the stick. Can't help but feel sorry for her. She's a real nice person, given the chance. Like, she might even end up friends with Rebecca and Isabella, too. They were living worlds apart, probably. The beat quickly pulls me back before my thoughts travel any further. In old practiced motion, I carefully placed the wet print I'm holding on a dying rack, and amble over my makeshift darkroom to get the last photos from the water bath. Inside the converted broom closet, the film process lets out another soft clack before going into standby mode. At its mouth, a lone photograph sits on the tray, barely visible with the lack of light. It's the last one tonight from the set Miss Wright requested. Usually make this a habit, giving away stuff that is. It's bad for business, no matter how well-intentioned and generous you are. This exception, however, she did treat me well and was a pleasant companion all throughout the shoot. Maybe she didn't ask, I would probably given her a few prints just for the hell of it. Miss Wright is such a bad subject matter to begin with. Maybe this is just me, but for someone who has everything in the palm of her hands, all the money in the world, a loving husband, and plenty big mansion to call home, she's lonely. Just doesn't appear like it. It shows in the tone of her voice, how she moves and looks serene in her smiles, always hidden behind glamour for the world to never see. Sometimes people like her, small things like these helps. A little reminder that the world can be kind too. Water drips into the paper as I blindly pick it up and gently lay it on another tray with a decent amount of photo flow. A few seconds of its solution is all it needs before it's ready for drying. No good rushing, this last one into my body is already screaming for some decent snooze. My hand fumbles for the light switch, moving towards it with familiarity, while I fish for a squeegee among the mess of tools on a drawer with the other. The bulb flickers twice, and its glow settles and casts a soft light in the tiny space. When I glance back down, squeegee in hand, ready to finish the process, I finally call it a night.
What on earth?
Oh, fuck! Her head is gone. Well, not gone, but twisted. Holy shit. Blurred and distorted beyond recognition, rather. The area completely smudged over, leaving no trace of the same sweet smile the good woman carried in all the previous prints. Ah, that scene from Hannah's chapter, where she was choking her.
Damn, that was too careless.
Common mistake to make, of course. One is negligent enough to pick a newly processed photo in the dark, like I apparently did. It has happened before, loads of time actually. Still can't help but feel a small pang of frustration over one mistake a newbie like will make. With a sigh, I reached for the switch again, intending to develop a new one from scratch.
It could pass off for one of those supernatural pictures they show on TV, though.
Oh, damn, that is so creepy. My memory clicks. One cursory thought in the sea of many, and a short yet distinct second from the day before. A glimpse is all I got, but it's enough to bring the image in my mind. It was a shadow. Yeah, the shadow of that, no, a woman in her 20s, early 30s maybe. With how far gone her flesh also has become, it's not possible to tell at first glance. The skin itself has already taken a sickly pale color, rotten in most parts, blood dripping from every open gash and region on her body. Bony hands grip Mr. White's neck like a noose, staining the skin underneath a vibrant shade of scarlet. Nothing but malice is gleaming in her eyes.
Zachary?
Not for me, but for Miss Wright.
Zach, is something the matter?
No, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
Memory alone is enough to make me a wretch. What do we got? Some of Hannah's shots from the photo shoot from the day before came out distorted after Zachary developed them. We'll always dismiss it as human error if you haven't remembered a chilling memory from yesterday's shoot. I brushed it off then. A trick of the eye, I told myself, or a product of the heat. The weather has been unexpectedly warm recently, so it shouldn't be too surprising for such things to happen. And well, blaming this on the usual fatigue and overworked brain, the weather or an amateur error on my part is far more convenient. And it makes a whole lot of sense than what the small voice inside my head whispers. The same tiny voice that only makes itself known when something's foul. The same one that lent curious ear to Isabella's worries about the mansion. And with each second I spent staring at this photograph, the murmurs in my head only grew louder against my ears. Someone has to know. Ashton needs to hear that. Ashton will give me flack for this, he will. I'll already hear what he's going to say about this moment I bring it up. Hell, before he even sees anything, I'll wager. The guy's skeptic enough through and through. I'll take more than my account for him to even consider this. When you've been there, seen something enough to raise the hairs at the back of your neck and leave you wanting to flee or hide, he thinks is the least of my concerns. I'm no hero. That's the title best resolved for someone else. Still, this will help him change his mind. It's worth a try. Isabella's gone and done the same thing, didn't she? Outside, the sun is yet to rise. Still got a few hours before dawn. Good enough to mull over how I'll go about this with him. Plenty of space to check if I'll get the same result if I do redo the process again. The film processor comes back to life at my touch, the light switch gives out a soft click, and darkness embraces the small closet again.
Somehow those urban legends don't sound so silly now.
Sometimes I wish Ashby would make itself easier to find. 24 messages, 15 phone calls, and one visit to his flat later. Still have no idea which rock and luck's going he went off to hide under again. He has his own place, but he refuses to stay in it. He has his own phone, but doesn't answer any of his calls or give any indication he's gotten any messages. Most of the time, he just show up on the front door. Sometimes in the middle of the night, complaining how uncomfortable it is to sleep at the back of his Shirley, his car. As if the old couch in my flat is any better. Nothing new from him though, but a bit frustrating really. There's the police precinct to full course. Then again, he's not there most of the time either. And if that's also true today, he's likely on another stakeout. There's nothing much to do for me but to wait if that's the case.
Let's just hope I'm lucky enough today.
While Luxembourg is a relatively peaceful city boasting a low crime rate, its precinct always abuzz with activity. As soon as I open the glass front doors, murmurs coming from the people waiting in the lobby welcome me. Officers can occasionally be seen shuffling in and out of the rooms, greeting civilians with a casual smile and a polite nod. Some, though, look a little worse for wear, like the receptionist who looked at me with much disdain the moment I arrived. Thankfully, I won't have to deal with it today. Before I can even step in, Ash's voice, though low, comes from the hallway adjacent to the lobby.
Not even for just 1 minute?
No. The case was dismissed, remember?
You were the one handling that case.
If you want access to those records, you've got to ask Chief. I was taken off it before shit went to hell. Why do you even bother? Even Professor Clark seems to have given up on that.
Well, Never mind, you won't understand.
Right. I know you owe Professor Clark a lot, but the right guy isn't just someone you mess with. They've got the money. Who knows what else gets swept under the rug with them
Of
involved.
course, this shit again. Just because he's rich and powerful, you can't investigate him. Figures.
That takes a special kind of ignorant not to know.
And a smart person to know which boundaries he can't cross. You're a bright guy, you'll figure it out. In any case, I've got to get going. Another missing person case on my hand. Benjamin on the front desk looks like he's about to maul someone after the fourth one yesterday. Murders, people missing, what a time to be alive. Man, I miss the old Luxburn.
You and me both. I'll see ya. Gonna go grab some lunch.
Notices me first as soon as he enters the lobby and pauses. Confusion briefly crosses his face until I fish out the phone from my pocket and wave it up. Frowning, he pulls his own mobile out, wordlessly filling with it for a few seconds before sighing heavily. There ain't any annoyance in him when he glances up, though, only mild exasperation and what might be a hint of amusement.
Stop taking pointers from Isabella. This is gonna get old soon.
At least use your phone properly.
It's an alarm clock, a good note-taking device, a halfway decent camera, and maybe a music player too. If I'm being nice. What else do I need it for?
I don't know, keeping in contact maybe?
When he merely shrugs, I know it's struck a chord. He's far from holding a piece of technology in contempt, of course. Ash has always been nothing but practical from the start, and technology is useful. Only when he gets too focused on one thing, like the case he's handling, he tends to forget there are other things around him. A little reminder and a nudge in the right direction can get him a long way.
I've got an email on that social media site the girls roped us into joining.
That doesn't make any sense. Also, you've got an account before any of us had one.
For policing purposes? Anyway, why are you here? I thought you have something scheduled today. Or was that yesterday?
That was yesterday. Look, about that. There's something I want you to
Oh boy,
see.
he's gonna chew us out for the photo, isn't he? He stops me at the top of my shoulder, walks past me straight to the door, and gestures with his head towards the very irked receptionist when I raise an eyebrow in question.
Over lunch. I haven't eaten anything since last night, and Benjamin there doesn't really like loiterers around here.
Wordlessly, I follow after him, but not after sending the poor guy behind the table an apologetic smile. As expected, he takes a seat in the farthest corner of the table, cafe, go away from the window but easily allows a view of who comes and go. He's clever enough not to be disturbed by the lunch hour rush or be overheard by a curious bystander. If he didn't know this lunch he invited me to, I would automatically assume I got dragged into another stakeout. After years of knowing him, though, this has simply become one of the many habits he has I've gotten used to. Food arrives minutes later. Oh, that's fancy. Slice of their vegetarian quiche for me, meanwhile Ash is opted for a cup of coffee. What's a gracious serving of?
You having cake for lunch?
He shrugs and proceeds to dig in without even a hint of remorse. Frankly, it's like seeing a child get his Christmas present early.
Don't tell Becca. I'll get an earful. It's just for today.
You should listen to her though. The kind of work you do, you'll need to eat something other than sweets. I don't want to see you drop dead in front of my apartment again.
I told you, just this once. Have you been hanging out with Becca lately? You're beginning to sound like her.
Nah, just for some recipes. But she has the right to worry, you know? It's like she's taking care of two kids. One bitches on sweets, while the other on cup noodles. At least Bella knows how to cook.
Hey, I can at least boil something. Wait, that's easy, right? I mean, you just put water in.
No, don't even think about it. You destroyed your own kitchen once by sticking a pressure cooker on it. I think my sister is a whole lot better than you. And this is coming from someone who has no other choice but to eat her cooking for some time.
To be fair, he genuinely appears offended at the last remark. Hate would be too strong of a word to describe how Sis and him usually interact whenever in the same room. But whatever appropriate word it is, I can say with most certainty the feeling is mutual for both. Ash thinks she nags too much, while Sis thinks he's a trouble magnet I should stay away from. They're both technically right in their assessments.
How's your sister, by the way? Still bullying white guys?
She's married to one now.
You do know she's married to one now.
Plus, we're getting very well with everyone. Except Mary Ann, she's like very low on the relationship spectrum.
I hope she doesn't end up poisoning him with her cooking.
Pot calling the kettle black?
She can't be better than me.
Actually, she is now. They're planning to start a restaurant sometime in the future.
I was bedridden for days after eating some of the stuff she whipped up. And now you're letting her cook for other people?
Don't exaggerate. It was just for one day and you're the one who refused to leave your apartment. You should come by though. Sis gave birth a few days ago. Girl, I've only seen the pictures. But I might visit sometime after everything's settled down. Too many backlogs to go through for now.
No way in hell. She'll just find something to criticize again. Last time, it was Shirley.
He makes a show of being utterly mortified. I'm quite sure he doesn't mean any of that. He might not say it straight out, but I'm pretty sure he's enjoying the small visits whenever he can. Something about it reminds him of his own family. Sort of like making up for the one he never got back after his parents separated. Sore spot on that one topic. One thing he never ever brings up in any conversation if he can help it. I've never seen him need to be nosy. There are some wounds you're just not meant to open, and for both of us, the sentiment goes the same way.
As if you ain't already on a shit list. You're just afraid of her.
In your dreams. But I'll think about it. Can't just drop this thing at the moment.
His change in tone is subtle, but his aggravation of the matter hangs completely palpable in the air.
Still no closer?
The opposite, actually. There's been some slip-ups here and there. Careless mistakes, and let's just say I'm waiting for him to make another one. What about you? How are things on your end?
All piled up on top of the other. But I can manage. Still recovering from the expenses for the movie, so the surge in new projects helps. And well, there's this one thing.
The expression on his face grows more puzzled with each photo I spread on the table. There's about 8 of them, all of it reprints of the same thing. His writes stored ahead on the photos. It takes a minute to go through each, eyeing the prints warily. The furrow on his brow doesn't ease as he gathers all of it into one pile, system in one neat stack in front of him with a heavy sigh.
Hana, right?
Yeah. How did you...
The locket. She never takes it off. Evan's family heirloom.
I don't even think about asking why or how he knows that. If he's investigating them, he'll likely have already dug up every unimaginable dirt on them, including family history.
Are you done with your work with them?
Yesterday, yeah. It's just a small feature for a magazine. Interviews, photos, standard stuff, nothing big. But see, here's the thing. I don't know how else to put this out there without sounding crazy, but there really is something odd with that place.
Ash isn't gonna believe it.
Remember the letter?
He drags in the breath, reaches up his nose and pinches it. Yep, doesn't believe it. Like the action alone will help grant him all the patience in the world to continue this conversation.
Please tell me this isn't about that again.
No, Ash, you've got to listen this time.
I am listening, and I can't believe that just came out of your mouth. These are some blurred out photos, and that letter is just a stupid prank. I expected this from Isabella, not you. You're the photographer here. I don't see any need to get worked up over this.
I know what you mean, but will you hear me out first?
Ash leans back on his seat and doesn't say anything further. He gestures for me to continue the wave of his hand, impatience clearly on his face. Any other person telling him this, and he will walk out without batting an eye. I suppose the only reason he's giving me the benefit of the doubt is because we know each other.
Ash, I don't easily buy into these things as much as you do. Yesterday, though, behind Hana.
He blinks at that, his eyebrows lifting momentarily, settling into a deep frown.
Hana? Since when were you on a first-name basis with the right missus?
Why does that even matter?
I thought you said this was just a gig.
His voice stays level, but the accusation is clear as day. It hits a nerve in me somehow, more than the tone usually does. I do get where he's coming from, but... Plus again, patience can be a tough thing to summon at times. We didn't get as far as friends who let our own tempers be the lord of us.
Bro, it's really just another freelance work.
He eyes me skeptically. Same stare he reserves for people he interrogates. I've been on the receiving end of it before, early in our friendship. Years later, he's already got the unimpressed police look down the path.
And there's nothing going on with me and Miss Hana. She was just being friendly. Insisted I call her by her first name. That's all.
I wasn't implying any of that. You're not that sort of guy.
I know, but let's just get that out of the way. The just-in-case elephant in the room scenario, She's a married woman, Jesus!
Not with the image she presents in public.
No, but trust me, she ain't any of the things the tabloid writes about her.
Like I read any of those.
I know you don't, but keep it in mind, will you?
Will do. Though I can't promise you'll get off scot-free if she's involved. Man, without your acting, it feels like I'm doing a solid for your girlfriend.
Cut that out, will you? And I'm not asking you to. Besides, what's currently going on here is more important.
All right, lay it in.
Recounting everything takes the better half of our lunch. He manages to listen through the entire thing without a snide comment. Feat in itself, actually. At the end of it, Ash merely nods, takes out his phone and excuses himself. Off to a far-cornered cafe for some privacy if you can even afford to have such a place public as this. He returns, in a little while and hands me a small card. Andrew Clark. Is that the same professor you talked with Isabella?
I can't stop you if you're willing to believe in this crap. Give this guy a call. You're better off talking to him than me. He's at the public library now if you want to catch him there. He used to be my professor back in the university.
Oh, no, I don't think that's...
Go on, I already gave him a heads up. You know I can't help you out, man.
He gives my arm a tap and walks off, mumbling about checking back how things are at the precinct. Disturbed, Zachary decides to show the photographs to Ashton. During lunch at the coffee house, they briefly discuss Zach's sister before the topic veered into photos. Refusing to believe his friend, Ashton advised him to talk to Andrew instead. I don't see his face when he leaves, but I know this is his own little way of helping out despite when he doesn't voice out. Of all the places never crossed my mind, I ended up wandering to the public library today, considering I rarely ever visit it. Some of there has been this kind of disconnect between me and books in general. Sure, some of them held my attention in my youth during the brief times of the day I was left on my own with nothing to do. I went through the whole of Grant's collection, as a matter of fact. Read all of them twice or thrice even. But they never did hold it for long, most of it never even sticked. Especially after I learned it's simply easier to do things myself if I want to learn stuff. This ain't the plan in the first place. After Ashton went through the trouble to contact the professor, I can't just ignore it. Nothing ever quite greets me inside though. Not a typical mom one will associate with the library, but one akin to a hush prior to an impending trouble, or perhaps I'm just overthinking again. I really like to think I'm just thinking too much about this. This is just like sleep talking. Regardless, apart from a group of students murmuring in the corner somewhere, the place is free of its usual visitors. All of my footsteps echo in a manner unsettling enough to raise the hairs at the back of my neck. Much to my relief, it does not take me long to find him, being the only occupant on this side of the room. Yeah, this is the same professor. Professor Andrew Grant. I never personally met the man, but Ash has spoken highly of him several times. In fact, he's Ash's go-to guy when something's troubling him with the case. My steps are sure as I approach. At any rate, he greets me with a warm smile like a grandson he hasn't seen in a long time.
Ashton's friend, I take it. Zachary. You'll have to forgive this old man if I don't get your name right.
Oh, no, you got it. It's Zach. Zachary Steele, Professor Clark.
He gestures at an empty seat across the table while he returns to his books. Next couple of minutes pass in relative silence as he continues to read and take notes on the pile he's accumulating on the table. Maybe I should have taken the book first before heading here. But before I can get far into the idea, the professor clicks the book shut and sits atop the stack next to him.
Ashton told me you were hoping to get answers from me. Although I'm not quite sure what I could share, I'll do my best to help.
Of course, there are a lot of things I want to ask. How do we get out of this mess is the first among tens, hundreds of concerns in my head. The presence of someone I barely know with thoughts won't easily form. There's nothing but patience, however, and with enough time to mull over, the question finally forms.
Do you believe in the paranormal, Professor?
It's supernatural, actually.
I mean, what's the difference between them?
Don't worry. It's a common mistake to make. But they really are two different things.
Really?
The other one deals with what we can't explain at the moment, while the other are things we may not have an explanation to.
Is that so?
Here.
He places a couple of papers in front of me, the very same one he was writing on earlier. The study will explore supernatural culture in a nutshell.
A friend of mine wrote that a few years ago. He took interest in the city after reading about the stories. I have to agree with him here. Even stories dealing with things you don't see with the naked eye can be rife with culture, and this city thrives on it. Just ask the locals.
Like ghosts, for example.
Among other things. The interpretation has changed over the years, though. Various religions, for example, have their own version. It might not always be a spirit now. It could be a memory, or an imprint, an echo, so to speak. Some are born from curses, even. Out of great anger, hatred, or pain.
Those 3 words that you said last, those are probably 100% what formed the ghost.
There was this one story. Ah, here it is.
Another book is pulled out from the stack and placed open atop the papers while he speaks with such passion. It makes me wonder if some part of him believes these to be true. It is interesting, though, even if I'm personally not a fan of such stories. And soon hours passed without my notice.
In the end, it asked for something to be sacrificed in order to destroy whatever anchors the wraith. A sad tale, that one. But the simplest grudge can bring the ugliest, even in the kindest person, with some people none the wiser. I'm sorry, I just went on.
Nah, it's good. Are you familiar with the Ermengarde mansion, though?
Of course, that goes without saying. Who hasn't heard of the local legend? In fact, you aren't the first one to ask me about that
Isabella as
recently.
well.
Although, word of the mouth is, someone has already bought it.
Ah, yeah. The right couple. It was a close friend who handled that sale.
So I heard. Well, don't think the house being bought by anyone would stop us from talking about it. What is it about the mansion, then?
I just want to ask what you think of it, sir.
We're going to need more than an afternoon for that, young man. You see, it's the kind that has changed over the years, passed down from one person to the next. Sometimes, it's the Lord William who haunts the place. There are versions where it's the lady of the house. But my favorite, a personal favorite, would have to be the ones that followed after the disappearance of the kind daughter.
Well, what about these then?
There's a moment of hesitation on my part before I pull out Miss Wright's photos and lay them all in front of him. Like Ash, the professor inspects each print with great interest. That gives him some hope at least.
When were these taken?
Just the other day. Do you think those are the same?
Perhaps. Perhaps not. There were certainly instances when the film would pick up what the human eyes weren't able to see, but then it could also have been human error.
I didn't edit it in any way. You have my word on that, Professor. They all just came out like that.
Then, if it is what you're thinking, I'd strongly advise against doing something reckless and further tangling with them. Accounts about them may be riveting to you, but most of it often ends in an unpleasant manner.
Believe me, I know what that means.
What about those people in the house? If there is something in there, shouldn't they know? I'm sure they're already familiar with the legends, but...
Some people might deserve it, however.
Deserve what, sir?
The shining on the lenses. All of a sudden, the tenderness in the professor's eyes disappears, his face becoming unreadable. As though catching himself, he hastily clears his throat, gathers his books, and rises from his seat.
Professor?
I'm sorry. I just remembered something I neglected to do. You'll have to excuse me, Zachary.
All right. Do you need any help with that?
Don't let my looks fool you, son. I can still carry a few hundreds. I've been doing this for years. I'll see you some other time if you have any other questions.
Of course. It was nice knowing you, Professor.
Doesn't hear it, however. Okay, what do we got? Zachary met with Professor Andrew Clark at the library. The professor shared a few of his favorite stories about the city, including a friend's research about urban legends. When Zach showed Hans the story photos, the professor only warned him not to be too reckless, as some people deserve what's coming to them. In a few short strides, he's out of the library, leaving me and every piece of this whole mess amidst the oppressive stillness. Despite the instant's gleam, more questions surfaced. There's even a single way out of this. I hope we find it soon. Oh, it's nighttime already. The moon is well into the night sky by the time we make it back home. My heavy treads and the sound of traffic outside echoing in my ears, filling the empty room with semblance of life. What does the branching tree tell us? Oh, 3% only uncovered all of it. But there's still a lot more. Ooh, way more than I expected. Nana would scold me if she ever hears me walk like that, but after today I really can't give a damn about everything. The mattress creaks under my weight as I unceremoniously flop down on it, and I found myself looking at the paper under my grip. An invitation and a request to cover an event, the Wright's housewarming party tomorrow evening. Only were that easy, but it'll give me a chance to talk to her about that thing in their house. With a sigh, I let my hand fall to the side of the bed along with the invitation. Thinking about tomorrow, in my head I mulled the thoughts of a handless woman and the haunting smiles of a ghost. Belatedly, it occurs to me that the last meal I ate has been the one with Ashton. An empty, gnawing ache in my stomach makes itself known, but I can't bring myself to stand up. The day was a complete waste of time, and frankly a disappointment. I don't like this. Lack of certainty, it's quiet, the lack of stable ground to stand on. Although I do not know what will come tomorrow. Ever since that damn letter, everything's been thrown out of the loop. I wish everything stayed the same. The routine will have been easier to make sense of this. Closing my eyes and let the noise from the streets below me lull me to sleep. At the very least, that's the one thing that hasn't changed. October 29th, Saturday. Melody carries into the hall before I cross the threshold. Solemn but gentle and soothing, a reminder of what home is. Pa's firm and meaningful gaze, Ma's wistful smiles, warm rays filtering through the eaves at sunset, the distinct smell of wet earth and leaves after a long day's rain in our room, the room, Ma and Pa's pride and joy, a place we were once promised several springs ago. Yet, they won't stop.
No, wait! Come back! I'll be good this time! Please don't leave! Please stay!
Floorboards are cold under my feet more than it usually is. Walls more forbidding than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. Ma's singing ceases. Pa. I can't hear Pa. None of the raucous clang and deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There's only the blinding fear. But when the light breaks... That again. My skin is already taking a sickly pale color, rotten in most parts, blood dripping from every open gash and lesion on the body. Bony hands grip Hannah's naked news, staining the skin underneath with a vibrant shade of scarlet. Nothing but malice feels gleam in her eyes. That's Hannah's scream if I know one. I know from the last episode. The scream ripples through the air. The whole body feels distant. Every limb heavy with lead, all unable to move at will. Only so it can wipe beads of sweat for me in any temple. The rasping of my breath easily fills the room in the wee hours while forcing back to steady rhythm. There's a tightness in my chest that I can't shake off, my heart pounding against it as if it's about to burst out. A sinking cold is setting in my legs. Not the usual chill that comes and goes when the passing breeze from the window. Not strong enough to sustain, shackle, and leave a frigid sensation creeping into my skin. But the struggle I make, the pressure winds firmly around my legs. Tighter, and tighter, and tighter, until it becomes too much. Our beloved ghostie's back! My heart stops. The draft sweeps into the room and brings it with an iron tang of blood. Thick, suffocating, filling my nose with a foul, sickening smell as I shift my gaze downwards. It slowly comes into view. Whoa! Mouth stretched into a hideous smile, and eyes burning with nothing but madness. The stench of gore tints the air around me, and I can't look away. From it, her, from the terror and death that her candy twisted features alone, scream. I try to open my mouth to shout, to ask for any help. Voice has left my body altogether. All I have is the painful realization that no kind of plea will ever save me from her. Suddenly the bed flips. The brutal plunge back into myself jerks me awake. There's no ear-splitting scream, no wild thrashing of limbs. Just a painful constricting awareness that something has wound itself tightly around my neck. I waste no second pulling it, a blanket, away, but allow myself a few minutes to sustain my breathing before getting off the bed. Inhale, hold, exhale. 1 step, 2 steps, 3. The dreams have gotten worse. Ever since 2 days ago, no longer these small cursory flashes that I'm used to, but vivid ones that linger. I can still feel the blood in my hands, the putrid smell of rotting flesh, skin and crunching bones breaking with every moment, and the cold chilling eyes as they pour into me. I drew one long ragged breath, and before I know it, I'm walking out the door. Even in the waking world it reeks. A bench in the park apartment was a private place with thoughts and looks born concerning its location at the heart of a bustling city, but in the early hours of the morning provides enough peace and quiet for any poor problematic soul having to wander here. The city's just waking up, a little later than usual. Knowing what day it is, one can't fault for being a little tardy just this once. And neither the pleasant morning chill nor the soft twittering of birds does anything to banish the images. Every single one is rooted itself in my head, its claws digging deep in what is no longer a safe place to hide in.
London Bridge is falling down, falling
It used to
down,
be easy finding
falling
some
down.
pretense
London
peace under the
Bridge
guise
is
of sheer
falling
optimism,
down, my fair
following regular
lady.
routine.
Take
Now,
a key
I
and
don't know
lock
what to
him
make
up,
of it.
lock him up,
Sometimes it's easier to
lock
run,
him up.
easier to hide when
Take a
everything's falling
key
apart.
and lock him
That way you
up,
don't have to be the
my
first to witness when
fair
it does.
lady.
It worked when things went bad with the movie after all.
London Bridge is
Also worked when Mom
falling
and Pa
down,
were taken from
falling
us.
down,
Maybe it really
falling
wasn't
down.
if I just...
Hey, mister!
Oh, the little girl! But who is she? I have no idea. A tiny voice gives me a pause. I look up a little girl, maybe about 6 or 7, is peering at me. 2 wide eyes overflowing what can only be natural curiosity one typically sees in children. I vaguely note the sand red uniform she's wearing before returning her greeting.
Hey kid.
Hi,
Kylie?
That's my name. Mama said it's rude not to call people by their names.
She then flops down on the empty space beside me. Her little legs, still too short to touch the ground, swings into the song she hums under her breath. I don't mind kids, not often invite the ones in our old neighborhood to give them treats. Of course, by then, Sis and I are both too old to play with them, but we'll get used to the commotion eventually. It's not completely as unpleasant as most people would imply. Kylie seems to be a well-behaved kid anyway.
Oh, sorry. Nice to meet you, Kylie. Is Mama here?
No, but my big brother's with me. He's taking pictures with his camera over there.
She points to the far end of the park, the one closest to the street where a kid is taking shots with something above him. It doesn't look to be birds because all there is on the side of the park are buildings.
I don't see what's so interesting with the tip of a building, though. I'd take pictures of dogs if I were him. They're cuter. Do you have a camera too, mister?
Yeah, I'm actually a photographer.
Mama said I'm too young to get a camera.
I'm sure your mama will eventually give you one. But won't you be late for school like this?
Big brother will get us there on time. Rowan promised Papa. We aren't going to be late. It's sports day. So it's not good if you keep looking like that today. If it ends up raining and we lose, it's your fault.
All right, I'll try not to upset the clouds today, kid.
Is it because you're sick, mister?
Before I know, a smile is spread over my face. They say kids ask the toughest questions sometimes, and they sure do. How sincere Kylie looks. Lying feels like doing her a huge disservice.
No, not sick. Just having a very, very bad day.
Why is that? Is that like when my big brother ate all of my pudding? He did that once and then cried. It wasn't very nice of him.
Yeah, I think so. You see, there's this mean girl. She's given my friends and I a lot of trouble. Hard to keep up when things are like that, you know? Especially when you can't do anything. It's kind of scary. Makes you wish things will just stay as peaceful as they used to be.
Maybe she just wants to be friends with you?
Definitely not, with how she looks at us.
I highly doubt that. She already hurt one of my friends.
What if she's just sad? Or maybe she just wants help.
Help, yeah, but sadness is not the thing I would describe her with.
That's what happened with Melody. I let her borrow my crayon when she left hers. Now we're playmates.
It's not really the same thing, Kylie. What she did, they're pretty bad things.
I still think there's another reason. Did you try talking to her? That's what Mama said I should do.
I don't think that'll work either.
You haven't even tried yet. You sound like
I've also
Rowan.
kind of been thinking about that. What if getting past the fear of the ghost and actually asking her, like, what do you want help with? Like, I wonder if she would communicate in any way.
You're just scared, mister.
Oh, that's lightly putting it, kid. That strikes a chord. Maybe it's the honesty in her tone or simply truth in the words itself. I don't know why, but I can't help it. I laugh. Loud enough to disturb an elderly couple taking a leisure walk nearby.
Why are you laughing?
That's nothing. You're a really smart kid, you know that?
That's what I've been doing, ain't it? Go full speed ahead and backtrack when the going gets tough. Stay in my safe zone because that's what I know. Once Dr. Navarro said I should be the first one willing to deal with my problems before anyone else. Show up on our next appointment after that, but he's right. Though I hate to admit it, knowing what I've seen, the kid makes a good point too. I was so caught up thinking there might be no way out. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, or maybe there is, but that doesn't mean I should just leave it up for fate. Aren't spirits supposed to be humans before too? Had people they cared about, lived a life of their own, smiled and laughed like the rest of us does. And really lose all of it after death?
You better get to school, though, or you'll miss sports day. You should have won yourself some awards, aight?
Alright. Can I show it to you when I do? That can cheer people up, right?
In the distance, her brother calls for her, and they took that as a sign to leave. Got things to do, Face. The first few steps, they say.
Nah, I'm good now, I think. Thanks to you. Besides, Mister needs to go. But you should show it to Mama and Papa. I'm sure they'll be proud of you, Kylie.
I will. Thanks, mister. Bye.
I give her a little pat on the head before heading my way. A small gesture of thanks from the strange she didn't know she might have helped. She may not understand it now, even though at such a young age she already has this understanding of things, but maybe when she's older, the world no longer seems too big for her.
But aren't you going to help me, mister?
With what?
Confused, I glanced back. Oh boy, not again. Wherever cheer a little talk brought his passion into the shadows and dancing in my eyes. The frigid air definitely not how the morning chill should feel like. Bitter, stinging, unwelcoming. Can she possess children? Really? I mean, I do know she can possess like all the characters, but this? And the kid?
What do you think, mister? Are you going to help me?
Her again?
What do you want from us?
Response never comes, however, because we're not linked. Gone.
Hello? Mister? Are you okay?
For several passing seconds, I let my stare linger on her face, looking for any sign of another change. All that remains there is the carefree smile of a child, and despite none of the cold-blooded smile.
Nothing, huh? I really need to go, Kylie. It was nice meeting you.
See you again, mister!
I break into a run. And I confronted Luke regarding last night's drama. He confessed he slept with me. I don't look back, I as I bump into a couple of passers-by as soon as I'm out of the great busy streets. Going insane, this is what it is. If we don't do something soon, we all will be. Tremors follow me even as I get home. Perhaps a little stroll out the block a few hours would help. Okay, how about I'll save here. Okay, and that's gonna be the end of this video. Ghost is really ramping up its scare factors, even taking over a little girl. But I do know, I think I said before, I did spoil myself with a couple of images, but I do know that the ghost does possess Hannah or someone else at some point in the game, but I have no idea how the hell the possession of a child goes away, but it certainly made one thing clear, that Ghost isn't going to let anything stop in her way, not even a child, just to get to the heads of those who read the letter. So, without further ado, that's it for this video. Thank you all who watched, and hopefully, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!